Hey, Tatas! We have some new comic reviews. I got some comics late. I apologize for getting to it. I would have gotten around to it, but I didn't feel like it up until now. Is that a good excuse? Alright, let's roll! I have a mixture of this week's books and last week's books. So I'm just gonna kind of do them like this. Let's start with this week's Miss Marvel. Number 5, and it's by G. Willow Wilson and Nico Leon. And we are in the middle of this kind of multiple episode involving Miss Marvel. Camilla is tired of running around ragged and not being able to keep up and do anything. Let's see. Yeah, last we saw from her, she is like doing high school work, family stuff, superhero stuff, Avenger stuff, and she's starting to half-ass everything. So she wants to full-ass everybody. So, she kind of got this duplicate machine that kind of like made clones of her. Unfortunately, the thing was stuck, so it's made an army of hers. There is some wonderful well, first off, it starts, freaking people out, and, her family is meeting her brother's fiance's family, and one of them walks into that, which goes well for a while until it starts to drink and melts in front of her family, which is probably the funniest moment in the issue, where they all run out screaming. Let's see. I love how her brother says, "I seek refuge from God and from the I seek refuge in God from the outcast Satan," which is a pretty understandable reaction to seeing your sister melt like that. Let's see. Well, she's busy fighting these. While this is going on, she's kind of ignoring it. Hoping that, Bruno will just, take care of everything. She's busy fighting these ninjas wearing Crocs, which is, it's a very subtle joke, but it's hilarious. They all bought blue Crocs. I guess they are kind of quiet and comfortable, but they look ridiculous. Anyway, after beating them, she goes, well, maybe I should really get involved with this, because there's literally thousands of her running the streets. And the issue ends with apparently they've all kind of joined up, combiner style. So off to part 3. This story arc's hilarious. It's adorable and funny, and it shows you what can happen when you try and cut corners. Very, very funny storyline so far. Miss Marvel number 5, 5 Ram Chips. And over here, Spider-Man number 2. This is the Miles Morales Spider-Man. And I think I'm going to throw this on my pull list for the time being. I'm digging it. Brian Michael Bendis and Sarah Pichelli. He just saved the Avengers from Blackheart. And Spider-Man shows up, Peter Parker Spider-Man, and his new techno suit because he's now a rich guy. Peter isn't sure if he should let Miles be Spider-Man anymore. And of course, Miles is a little broken up about that because, he told him he had his blessing and it was cool. And Peter Parker comes to him and says, you know what, I'm having second thoughts about it. Then Blackheart awakens and they fight again with Miles doing a pretty good job again against this guy. And, the press and the police kind of launch into him, and that's when Peter realizes that, you know what, you do have what it's in you. You can still be, the other Spider-Man. Then we have this wonderful scene where he is watching a webcast, and the news is broken out. Because during the fight, parts of his costume were ripped, and you could see his skin underneath, and people, could clearly see that he's not a white dude. And he's a little unnerved by that because he talks about how he doesn't just want to be the black Spider-Man. He wants to be a Spider-Man. He wants to be his own Spider-Man. And he's a little concerned about that. I do like the fact that, public the first person who reacts to this is someone online who's doing a vlog, and she thinks it's great and positive, and she talks about it in many of the same ways that a lot of us have talked about Miles and, Miss Marvel, for instance. And he kind of, since he is that person they're talking about, he kind of doesn't want that. He wants to just fight crime and, be a superhero. It's because he knows all the junk that's going to involve. Love this stuff, and yeah, I really, really miss reading Brian Michael Bendis on a regular basis, and I can tell he and Sarah Pichelli love this character. And I can't skip next week. I can't skip next issue, because next issue is Miss Marvel's appearance. Oh, cool. I can't wait to see these hang out more. Let's go over to Black Widow! That's the theme song I've invented for this comic book. It is by the team that brought us the previous run of Daredevil, Mark Waid and Chris Sinead. And to sum up very quickly, this is pretty much the pre-credit sequence to that awesome Black Widow movie we haven't gotten yet. Where essentially Black Widow is fighting through, first off, an office that you think is a S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters, but no, it's the helicarrier she escapes. This issue is an entire action sequence of her fighting and being chased by S.H.I.E.L.D., led by Maria Hill. And she just goes through one series of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents after another until the chase gets back to the ground with this cool sequence of sort of the S.H.I.E.L.D. flying cars fighting her on a motorcycle. And then she's able to finally beat the last guy. And that's it. We don't even know why they're mad at her. We don't even know why they're chasing her. It begins here. Excellent little roller coaster ride. I'm going to give it 5 round chips. Yeah. We don't know all the things. It's a series. That's what this is about. You're not supposed to pick this up and get the whole thing. I enjoyed this a lot. Excellent stuff. Did I give 5 ram chips to Spider-Man? I did. Okay. Now I'm getting to some older issues. This is A-Force number 3, and please excuse the condition of this issue. I spilled water all over it. That's what happens when you bring water to your bedside and you have the lights off and you kind of just don't pay attention to where you're going. This is written by Kelly Thompson and G. Willow Welton and George Molina. And we still have this excitement with Singularity being attacked by the antimatter. She's able to get the whole crew. She does something interesting. Singularity envelops the entire team within her body and escapes, which has this cool scene of them all kind of floating in this never-where space, wondering where the hell are we? And they're in her, and she's normal size too, so it's that weird kind of TARDIS effect, I guess. But the art, by the way, by Molina is just absolutely beautiful. As the team regroups and has a huge fight outside the space station, which Captain Marvel works. This is the Alpha Flight space station. And the issue ends with Singularity realizing that she can't keep asking the rest of the team to sacrifice for her, so she's going to face off Antimatter herself. Very cool. I've been really digging this book a lot. I enjoyed the artwork. The coloring on this series so far has just been beautiful. I've been really digging this. I've been really liking the Avengers title so far. So far, I don't really... New Avengers is okay, but outside of that, it's been pretty much hit after hit. Speaking of which, let's go to Avengers. Avengers is now starting a big crossover story arc thing. This is from last week. This is this week's. Since they come in this order, I'm going to review this first. And it's Standoff! And I mentioned in the Avengers Standoff review last time that Maria Hill had this cool idea, hey, let's do the Matrix thing for a prison and have these prisoners think there's somebody else in this cool Norman Rockwell universe of like It's a Wonderful Life kind of Bedford Falls place. The problem is that doesn't hold up. The supervillains start realizing who they are. Captain Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson, the current Captain America, each are kind of discovering through different sources what's going on. The Falcon, Sam Wilson, Captain America, learns through a computer hacker who turns out to be Rick Jones. Welcome back, Rick Jones. This is a new thing you're doing. I'm glad he's not A-Bomb anymore. I'm not sure if I really like the idea of him being a monster. And, of course, Steve Rogers learns through Bucky that, what's going on. Steve goes right to Maria Hill, and she takes him to the town and the prison. Explains basically how essentially what happened was S.H.I.E.L.D. got a hold of pieces of the Cosmic Cube, and under her watch they were supposed to destroy them. And she thought, fuck that shit, I'm going to make a prison out of it. Steve isn't really happy about this. So when they're there, unfortunately, that's when the prison break starts, and a whole bunch of villains are able to kind of like figure out who they are and start attacking. That's when this starts hitting the fan. And namely in Uncanny Avengers number 7. And this is the only Avengers title I haven't picked up. I can't stretch my dollars that far. So this was the one I was like, okay, maybe I won't pick this one up. But you know what? I gotta admit, the team here is pretty interesting. This is, of course, the Unity team, which involves like superheroes, mutants, and now Inhumans, because we have to really sell that Inhuman thing. And who is on this team? It's Steve Rogers still. Rogue, Dr. Voodoo, Deadpool. Deadpool is an Avenger. Quicksilver, the Human Torch, a new character named Synapse, and Cable. Cable and Deadpool are Avengers. What world am I living in? Well, I gotta say, this team is actually really interesting. The issue starts off with a little story arc stuff going on. Apparently, there's some stuff going on with Quicksilver and his sister, Scarlet Witch. That apparently there's been a wedge between them. Another sibling team, Dr. Voodoo and his ghostly brother, have a meeting. His brother wants to see if he can bring him back to life. And he's telling him, no, you've been dead way too long, but I can see if I can help you move on. Now we cut to the Standoff story, where the team catches one of the villains that escaped, the Wrecker. And this really cool action sequence, I guess, a little reminiscent of the Deadpool movie, but not too much like it. By the way, I really enjoyed Deadpool's golf costume, where he's basically taken a ridiculous golf outfit and put it on over his regular suit. And he has weapons in among the golf clubs, including Wrecker's signature crowbar. Anyway, Wrecker's captured, and he tells the group that, hey, shit has gone down really bad in this Pleasant Hill. You've taken me to this prison, and I just escaped, and it's the most awful thing. Before they are able to take him back, S.H.I.E.L.D. comes up, and he begs them to, believe him, and they actually go with it. So they decide to escape the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, and check out Pleasant Hill, because they actually run into Maria Hill, and she tells them what's going on. She apparently has escaped with Wrecker. Meanwhile, Synapse is this character that... there's some interesting stuff going on. Synapse is a character that Cable is trying to teach to learn how to use her psychic powers a little bit better, and trying to figure out how people are lying or not lying. And what's interesting is he teaches her what to look for when people lie, and how she senses that and compare it to people telling the truth, and kind of like honing her skills in a sort of Professor X way. That's kind of interesting. It's interesting seeing Cable do that kind of thing, because Cable is usually just written like a soldier all the time, and a lot of the mutants. One of the things I like about the mutants is they teach each other how to use their powers, and proactively. Anyway, once they get there, they're attacked by another Maria Hill. So one of these Maria Hills ain't the real thing. I gotta say, I've avoided this book so far. I haven't purposely avoided, but I haven't sought it out. But I kind of like this team. I'm curious about maybe picking up another couple issues. I never thought this team would work coherently, but they're really interesting to read. I will pick up next issue, which is a Avengers title. I'm not sure if I'm going to pick up all 37,000 issues that are going to be in this series. It's not too bad, but, it's like, I can't buy all this stuff. I'm probably going to just buy the chapters that interest me the most and just wing it for the ones I miss. This one is 4 Ram Chips. I really liked it a lot. And, not bad. Pretty good couple of weeks here in comics. My biggest recommendations are obviously Miss Marvel, Spider-Man was great. I also enjoyed a lot of stuff here. A-Force and Black Widow was good too. Not a bad week in comics. I hope to start moving back into more Image, IDW, and some more independent stuff as I try and kind of reassert myself reading comics. Well, wow, that was a lot. So I hope you enjoyed reading comics this week, and if you had anything you read that you thought was interesting, put it in the comments. And until next time, though, push the button, Lindsay.